So now I'm going to show you how to actually enter a swimmer into the meet. There are two basic possibilities. One is that the swimmer is already in the meet and wants to enter some more events, or that the swimmer is not in the meet and you have to first add them to the meet before you can add them to particular events. So in the first case, we have a swimmer who wants to add a few more events to the meet. The way we do this is by accessing the athlete screen. We can do this from either the main menu here by clicking on the athlete tab, or we can do it from the run menu, clicking on the athlete tab. Either way, it takes you to the same place. So I'm going to click on athletes here. And now I have a list of all the athletes entered into the meet. So I'm going to look for Henry Bagshaw, who wants to enter a few more events. I'm going to click on the B. It's going to take me down to the Bs, and I'm going to scroll down until I get to Henry. And so there he is. Below, I have his list of eligible events and the events he's already entered into, these three events that you see here. But Henry's decided that he also wants to enter the 500 freestyle and the a backstroke event. So first we're going to go to the 500 freestyle event he wants to add, and it's event 82, 14-year-old men's 500 free. If I click on it, it's going to yellow the event, so now we see that he's entered into it. There's going to be a check mark that's going to appear in the select. I can enter an entry time for him. And I can just enter numbers without the decimal or the colon. So let's say his entry time is 4:50:04. And now I've got an entry time. And next is heat and lane. But this is an unseated event, as you can see by the U here. And therefore, I can't seat him yet, but he'll be seated when the rest of the event is seated. But now at least he's entered into that event. If the positive check-in sheets have already been printed, you may want to add his name to the sheet so that he can appropriately check in. Henry also wants to do event 100, the men's 200 backstroke, the men's 13-14 200 backstroke. So here, again, I can check or click on the event. It'll become yellow, showing he's entered. His entry time for the 200 backstroke is, let's say, 1:55:34. And now it's asking for his heat and lane. This is an event that's already been seated. So I'm going to go back to the event and see if I can put him in a lane. So I'm going to close out. I'm going to go into the run menu. I'm going to scroll down to event 100. And what I'm going to see is that this event is full. So I can't put him into a lane. I will give him the appropriate information, and I'll talk to the administrative official. And likely what we'll do is ask him to show up at the beginning of the event, report to the deck referee or chief judge, and they can seat him if there is an open lane. I'm going to go back to the athlete menu where I was. And let's say, actually, instead of swimming in event 100, I'm going to click it again, and I'm going to remove him from this event. Let's say, for example, that what they really wanted was for him to have more competition or swim against the older kids, and they're going to put him into event 102. So here I'm going to click on that. I'm going to put the same seed time in. And now he's in event 102. He's no longer in event 100. And the fact that his seed time stays there really doesn't matter. So let's go back to event 102 now and see how that looks. Okay, event 102 actually only has 3 swimmers in the first heat. So here I can put him into a lane. So we're going to put him into lane 7. So heat 1, lane 7, because that's open. So I'm going to close this out. I'm going to go back to the athlete screen, and I'm going to go to that event, event 102, and I'm going to type 1/7 and hit the tab just to move to the next box. Bagshaw, I keep moving away. And so now I have him in heat 1, lane 7. If I go to our run menu, event 102, here he is. He is now in the event in the first heat in lane 7. He may, I may want to write his name on the lane timer sheets if they have already been printed, so the lane timers know to expect him. So this is really the easiest way to add him to an event.